In this video, we're going to talk about why your resume is the least important aspect in your tech sales job hunt that impacts whether you get the outcomes you're looking for, which is earning more interviews and getting more job offers to land your dream job and open up this six-figure tech sales career path. We're going to hit on why the resume is overrated and emphasize 3 key factors that are going to make the biggest difference in your tech sales job hunt with tips that you can execute on for each of these key factors. If you guys enjoy this video, hit the like button, share it with more people who could benefit from the message, translate this into action, and if you guys want to break into tech sales in the next 12 weeks, check out my collection of 8 courses, Tech Sales Accelerator, that will give you the blueprint. That's linked in the description of this video. All right, let's dig into it. So why is the resume overrated when it comes to your tech sales job hunt? Why should you not over-rotate and spend too much time on your resume? Well, when I interviewed Kaylin Wright, who has the inside scoop when it comes to breaking into tech sales as a former SVP of sales and a recruiter helping people launch their tech sales careers, and by the way, that video is linked in the description of this video, or you can just find it on the channel, she said that recruiters don't look at resumes. They don't really have the time for it. They're sick of manually sifting through resumes. So what they do instead is they source the majority of their candidates, and they also interview people that have been referred to the role. Not to mention, they use applicant tracking systems, or ATS, to sift through resumes on their behalf. They set keywords and terms and things they're looking for, and the artificial intelligence will sift through their pile of resumes, and if you don't match up with what they're looking for, what the AI is looking for, then you're dead in the water and you're not even going to get a shot. The problem with blindly applying to tech companies is that you're sitting on your hands waiting, hoping for recruiters to get back to you rather than taking ownership for your job hunt sales cycle. Because let's be real, you're selling yourself as the product to target companies and target employers, and the decision maker, the person purchasing, is the hiring manager. Rather than leaving the possibility of getting an interview completely up to chance, by blindly applying to a company and just sending your resume, hoping the applicant tracking system doesn't rule you out, or a recruiter didn't eat their lunch and is just in a bad mood and quickly glosses you over, or someone looks better on paper, even though you might have better actual sales skills because sales is a performance art, that person who looks better on paper might get the interview. And honestly, as you can tell, you're just really leaving it up to chance. You want to take ownership of your job hunt. And let's talk about how you do that. Now, Kaylin mentioned to me that recruiters primarily source candidates to interview, or they interview candidates who have been referred into the role. So let's ask ourselves, where do recruiters source candidates from? The answer is LinkedIn. So the first factor that's way more important than having a beautiful resume when it comes to your tech sales job hunt is having a strong, tailored LinkedIn profile that makes it easy for recruiters to find you and source you. In fact, I got my first interviews with Google Cloud when a recruiter reached out to me, and Connor found me because I had tweaked the description of my LinkedIn profile and my experience to match the job description of the Google Cloud inside sales role that I really wanted at the time. Now, let's be real, I had relevant experience that put me in the position to actually be a credible candidate, but tweaking that experience and how I framed it with the right keywords on LinkedIn helped Connor find me. And I'll never forget that moment. It was an amazing feeling, and it opened up the door to a life-changing opportunity. Now, some other LinkedIn fundamentals that are critical is having a great profile picture with an open-teeth smile where you show trust and credibility. You'll also want to dress business casual and wear a nice shirt like I am right now. You'll want to write a nice bio that hooks the audience, that tells your narrative of who you are, where you come from, what's special about you, and the skill sets and the passion that you bring to the table and why you want to be in tech sales working for a great company over the long run. Now, when you describe your past experience, in addition to tailoring keywords to match the job posting of the role that you want, make sure to speak the language of business outcomes. So highlight revenue that you drove in past roles, costs you saved, or if you didn't make a revenue or cost impact, highlight quantities, highlight volume, highlight skill sets that are relevant, like outbound prospecting, picking up the phone, customer service, and solving problems with a consultative approach. You're going to want to set your job settings to open to work, and you're also going to want to start to make searches for relevant roles on LinkedIn. Maybe you're looking for an SDR role in a specific geography at a specific type of company. And you want to save those searches because when you save those searches, LinkedIn will be trained to understand what you're looking for and start to volunteer relevant roles that you can apply to. If you want more concrete tips on how to build a great LinkedIn profile, check out the video that I made on the topic, linked in the description of this video. Now again, Kaylin said that recruiters don't like to spend a lot of time sifting through resumes manually, so they source candidates from LinkedIn, but she also said that they interview candidates who are referred into the role. And this brings me to the next aspect, the second aspect that you need to focus on when breaking into tech sales that makes a much bigger difference than blindly applying with your resume. And that is to network and do what I call becoming a networking ninja to connect with people who can refer you to the role and ultimately earn the interview. Getting referred into a role is the ultimate cheat code because you bump yourself up the candidate list and basically guarantee you're going to get a shot at interviews. Companies want to hire people who get referred in. And one of my students that I worked with, Alex, got a job at Snowflake, and he ended up becoming number one of like 100 plus SDRs. And what he found is that everyone on the proverbial sales floor as an SDR, nearly everyone was referred into the role except for a couple people. If you want to work at a company like Amazon Web Services, that is one of the best tech companies you can work at in the world. And I made a video on the topic on why, by the way, that you can check out, as well as a video with 5 steps to break into AWS specifically that you can also check out, both linked in the description of this video. My friends at AWS tell me that, Chris, thousands of people apply to individual roles. You have to get referred in to have a shot. So let's walk through some tactical steps to make sure that you get referred in and get your foot in the door to earn interviews. The first step is to pick the right target companies to apply to. It's all about choosing the right opportunity vehicles or companies that will empower you to succeed long-term, have a bigger upside, and be happy in the culture. Not all companies are created equal. Now, assuming you've identified a set number of great companies that you know you're going to be successful at, maybe they have great training, maybe they're big companies like Oracle, Dell, Salesforce, Cisco, IBM, AWS, Google, or you could find some startups that you've really vetted out, and you're confident those are opportunities you're willing to fight for and do whatever it takes. It's time to play the networking chess match. When you network with target companies, you want to go wide and deep across different personas who all could influence the opportunity to get you in the door and get you in an interview. The first personas that you want to reach out to that should be priority number one are SDRs and AEs. These are your future teammates, and the key thing to leverage with these guys and gals is if they refer you and you get hired, they get a referral bonus. At some companies like AWS, they get paid a good amount of money. So you better believe they see referring you as an opportunity, and you need to use that as an advantage to frame an opportunity in their world. When you reach out to SDRs and AEs, you're going to want to send a personalized message, flattering them a little bit, acknowledging that you want to be successful like them. You can tell they've been very successful at the company. Acknowledging achievements or causes they care about. Just bring a personal touch of some kind, and then ask for some time to learn about their path to success, the role and what it's like, does it take to succeed in the interview process, because you're about to get going. And just simply ask them for time. And once you get in those conversations, it is a unique opportunity to understand the KPIs of the role, what it takes to succeed, how they've been successful. Maybe get a sense for the interview process. They might even share some questions and frame the opportunity to refer you and get a referral bonus. Who wouldn't be willing to take a shot to refer you and the chance that you are successful and they make some cash? Now, when you ask for the referral, you want to make sure that you emphasize that you really want to help them get paid, make that referral bonus, and also have the job requisition or job rec ready for the specific role that you're going for so they can easily refer you to apply. Now, if you do a good job with these guys in the conversation, they might even be willing to coach you once you get interviews to help you throughout the process to increase the probability that you're successful and that ultimately they get paid that referral bonus. Now, another person you can reach out to in your networking chess match is the recruiter. The recruiter is your interview process champion. They want you to be successful. So when you reach out to them on LinkedIn, you bring a personal touch in your message, like I alluded to in the messaging example when reaching out to an SDR or AE. And maybe drop a line on why you're interested in the opportunity and why you'll be successful. Maybe you sold in another industry and you exceeded your quotas by 150%, and you know you'll do the same and you're ready to do that in tech sales at that specific company. And then ask for time. Recruiters tend to be pretty open-minded and friendly, and they're going to want to know if you have a skill set that's going to help their company be successful and help them do their job and place the right talent. They're going to probably be open to having a conversation. And if the screening call with them goes well, boom, you're in the formal process. Now, another person you can reach out to in the networking chess match is the VP of Sales Development, or some VP or sales leader at the company who might influence the hiring process. The goal of reaching out to them is for them to see, wow, this person takes initiative, they are intentional, they're hungry. Let me refer them to the recruiter and make sure the recruiter screens them and they get a shot. So reach out to the SVP of Sales Development with a personal touch, as I always recommend. That goes a long way and cuts through the noise. And frame why you're interested and be very specific, and frame what you're going to bring to the table, your mic drop statement. Maybe revenue you've delivered in a past role, if you have relevant sales experience, or other extraordinary accomplishments, relatively speaking, that show that you're a go-getter, you're going to be successful. And ask for a conversation. And you know what? With the SVP of Sales Development, don't be afraid to cold call them too. No one else is doing this, and this is a way to truly stand out. So here's an example of how you might cold call an SVP of Sales Development. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, Kim, this is Chris. I'm calling you out of the blue, but I really want to work for your team as an SDR. Do you have 20 seconds for me to share 3 reasons why I'd be a good fit? And then you can decide if you want to refer me into the process. Imagine you say that. Maybe you stumble over your words a bit. You're kind of nervous, but just by reaching out like that, you're demonstrating your actual sales skills with that permission-based opener, and you're showing guts, and you're showing you're willing to pick up the phone, which is required to succeed in the role. So Kim, I think, is going to hear me out, and she'll say, sure, go ahead. Well, first off, I've done a lot of research on your product and your company and the mission and the market, and I am fully bought in. I think you have a truly differentiated approach in the cybersecurity space versus our competitors, and I am excited to get behind that product. Number 2, I am extremely driven and gritty, and I have an engine that just doesn't quit, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes and run through walls, like picking up the phone like I am right now. And number 3, I am coachable, so when I come in, I am going to take in feedback from leadership, and that coachability is what allows me to constantly improve and have limitless potential. If you can't tell, I'm hungry for this opportunity, so what more can I do to earn this opportunity? Boom. Do something like that, and you are going to greatly increase your chances of getting referred into the role. And you can also use that cold calling script to call the 4th persona in the networking chess match, and that is the decision maker, that is the hiring manager. So you can call them up and use the same script, and also you can send a message on LinkedIn with a personal touch, a little bit of flattery. You can share why you're specifically interested and why it will be a good fit. And so multi-thread them. All of these contacts, actually, if you want to, across LinkedIn, have the guts to make calls, and even find their emails using Apollo.io, which is a free tool, to hit them from all 3 angles. If you do that and you stay consistent, you're eventually going to earn conversations and earn referrals and earn interviews. And that brings me to the 3rd aspect of your tech sales job hunt that you need to focus on that is way more important than your resume, and in fact, it's way more important than everything else. It's how you sell yourself in interviews. Now, interviewing is a loaded topic, and I do have my course, Tech Sales Accelerator, a blueprint of 8 courses that walks through interviewing. There's a section called the Incredible Interviewer section that's 3 hours plus, and you can check that out, links in the description of this video. But let me dig into some tips on how to interview well to stand out from the competition in the tech sales interviewing horse race. Because it really is a game of inches. You could do really well, but someone still beats you out just by a little bit. So first off, you need to research, and understand the company, their mission, where they stand in the market, the problems their product solves, and why customers buy. You want to understand the company's leadership. You want to understand their training programs and exactly what they're looking for in the role. What do they want you to look like? And that's going to be found in the job description. Another aspect of preparation is preparing your answers to common questions. First off, there are a few common interview questions that you need to knock out of the park in any interview with any company at any round, and let's go over those real quick. Tell me about your background. You want to highlight the specific aspects of your background that are most relevant to the role, where you delivered business outcomes and demonstrated the skills like prospecting, solving problems, customer service that are relevant in the role. Two other key questions that might be the cornerstone questions that are more important than anything else is why you want to get into tech sales and why you want to work at the company. Showing intentionality and passion and showing that you're not there by accident is probably one of the most important things that hiring managers look for, and it's what I call a key competency signal that you mean business and you're a high-quality candidate. We could get into many reasons why you might want to work in tech sales, like the opportunity for financial freedom, developing transferable skills, building great connections, but the more personal and emotionally compelling you make it, the better. And the same for why you want to work at the specific company. The more personal and emotionally compelling, the better. If you have a personal connection somehow to their product and you just are extremely passionate about it, if you're really excited about the sales training they provide and you're clear that that's going to empower your development into the best version of yourself, or if you talk to people on the team through your networking conversations and you were affirmed that those are the types of people that you want to work with that will make you better, those are some good reasons. But again, make it clear, make it emotionally compelling, and show your twinkle in your eye. Another key question you need to knock out of the park is talking about your vision over the next 3 to 5 years. You want to have a crystal clear vision and show that the opportunity and the role you're going for at the company you're applying to fits into that very clearly. Having a clear, compelling vision that is specific and concrete is another competency signal, along with having strong intentions for why you want to be in the opportunity at that company. There's no question about it. In your interview processes, you're going to be asked behavioral interview questions, which are like, tell me about a time you received a piece of feedback and implemented it. Tell me about a time you set a stretch goal and had to push through to achieve it and the steps you took to achieve the goal. Tell me about a time you failed and how you responded. These behavioral questions assess for whether you have the underlying qualities needed to succeed in the SDR role, like grit, goal orientation, coachability, and resilience. You're going to want to take the time to understand the most common behavioral questions that are asked in tech sales interviews, collect stories that are relevant, that are your proof points that show you possess those behaviors, and structure your stories in the STAR methodology, situation, task, action, result, so that they are cohesive and organized, and tell them with concrete detail. And of course, you're going to need to practice these stories over and over and over to deliver very well with executive presence on the spot. Now, you also need to be ready for role-related interview questions, which are questions that assess how you would handle common challenges that you'll face in the day-to-day job. For example, what would your approach to cold calling be? How do you research prospects? Imagine you have a difficult customer. How do you handle that situation? How do you approach outbound on LinkedIn? How would you prioritize a leads list with some current spenders that purchase with our company and some greenfields that don't purchase at all? Where would you start? You're going to want to collect a list of these common role-related questions that you're probably going to be asked and prepare your answers and tell them in a concise, concrete, and compelling way. If you're not sure where to start in answering these types of questions because you don't have the experience, then talk to people who do have the experience. Have networking conversations where you ask these questions and steal the frameworks and approaches that you hear as if they're your own, and you can use them in your answers. Now, if you really want to know the most common behavioral and role-related questions that you're going to get in tech sales in your SDR interviews, then check out the video I made on the topic, which is linked in the description of this video. People have reached out to me that said this video alone helped them land their tech sales dream job. You got to check it out. Of course, my collection of courses, Tech Sales Accelerator, also linked in the description of this video, has all the answers to the test from an interview question perspective, so you could check that out too. Now, what I'd argue is more impactful to succeeding in your tech sales interviews than having the perfect answers to every question is bringing thoughtful, research-based questions to your interviews. When the interviewer asks you, do you have any questions for me, which they inevitably will, that is your opportunity to show your curiosity in action, which is one of the most important qualities that hiring managers look for. This is another competency signal in addition to showing your intentionality for why you want to be there, as well as your specific long-term vision. So the worst thing you can do in this situation is have no questions, and the second worst thing you can do is ask a lazy question like tell me about your culture when you could have easily researched that. Instead, capitalize on this opportunity by asking a thoughtful research-based question like this. I was reading some case studies on the website, and I saw the customer story with PayPal. What a win story, what a great customer. And I noticed that the reason the CTO went with our solution over the alternatives is that you saved 20% more on total cost of ownership and also delivered better performance. I'm curious, are these the key drivers that lead prospects to buy and choose us over the competition? Or are there other business drivers that impact why customers choose us? That is a thoughtful question that shows you did research, it shows some business acumen, and it opens up a great dialogue where you can gather more information on why you might be excited about the product and the opportunity, and you can take that all with you into your further interview rounds. Now notice I said are, as if I was already a part of the organization. That's a subtle way of assumptively closing them and saying, I'm already a part of this organization. I know I'm going to be a great fit and I'm ready to get going. Now, the final aspect of crushing your tech sales interviews is closing. Because if you don't close in your interviews and ask for next steps when you're going for a sales role, that is a red flag to hiring managers because that's what sales roles are all about. Always be closing. So when you get to the end of an interview in earlier stages, you can say something like this. Tim, I really enjoyed this conversation and it reinforced that I want to be here. And it also reinforced that I know I have what it takes to succeed in this role because I'm driven and coachable and passionate about the product and willing to pick up the phone. So I have an idea of next steps and what they could be, but I'm curious, what are the logical next steps to keep the process moving forward? Now, after you close in the interview, you're going to want to send a personalized follow-up note to the person who interviewed you, referencing why you're excited, why you're going to be a good fit, and highlighting the agreed upon next steps and that you're looking forward to them. Now, your final close in the final round to get the job might look something like this. Jamie, this has been an amazing interview process. I know for a fact that I want to be here with the market leader in the cybersecurity space, with the great training you offer, and the people like Jim and Susie that I would be working with that I know will make me better myself. I know I'm ready to hit the ground running. I showed you my 90-day plan just to illustrate my intention. I'm willing to pick up the phone and do whatever it takes to succeed. So I'm curious, what more do I need to do to earn this opportunity? I'm ready to go. That's one example of a close. You can adapt it to your own style. And you better believe that after that interview, you're going to want to follow up with a personalized note to the hiring manager saying, thank you in the subject line and referencing why you're excited with specificity, why you'll be a good fit with specificity, and highlighting that you're ready to get going and excited to move forward. Now, one final note on follow-ups is that hiring managers need to take their notes on how you did in the interview to the hiring committee and submit them. And sometimes these hiring managers submit notes within an hour of the interview, so time is of the essence. Send that follow-up thank you note as soon as you can within an hour or less. You want to give the hiring manager and the people interviewing you additional ammunition to submit to make the case to help you land your tech sales dream job. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more videos like these committed to helping you succeed in tech sales and launch and grow your six-figure tech sales career. Also, make sure to apply the concepts in action to be successful yourself. That goes without saying, because that's why I make these videos. That's what this community is all about. Now, if you guys are serious about launching your six-figure tech sales career in the next 12 weeks, you're chomping at the bit, you're ready to go, you know you can do it, you're going to do whatever it takes to succeed, then check out my collection of 8 courses, Tech Sales Accelerator, that gives you the full blueprint, not just to land a job at a top tech company, but to get promoted within a year to account executive to join the Six-Figure Earners Club. That's linked in the description of this video. And if you have questions, you can book time with me at my Calendly link, linked in the description of this video. For people who are really interested in the course, I'm offering complimentary discovery calls to learn about your vision and where you want to be, and educate you on the program so you can decide if it's a good fit to empower your goals and help you be successful. Feel welcome to book time, and I'd love to connect with you and encourage you on your own unique tech sales journey. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of this community that we're building. I respect you for investing in your personal and professional development and your tech sales dreams. And to your success in tech sales and in life, happy selling and happy living. And we'll see you in the next one.